People who can fall asleep within 8 seconds of their head hitting their pillow. How the f do you fall asleep within 8 seconds of your head hitting your pillow? This is literally me. My husband is just the reverse. The main difference is I observe between the two of us. I'm a doer. He is a thinker. He brings his phone to bed and browses Reddit. I'm strictly no screens an hour before bed. Other than bringing the phone to bed, he has no routine. By about 9:30, I'm winding down with my skincare routine, washing up, making a hot drink. Since I'm the high-energy person in the relationship, I am moving and doing things all the time. Get home from work, cooking, have dinner, work out, do some laundry, read before bed. I'm pretty physically tired, drained by the time I hit the pillow. My husband runs at what seems to be a consistently lower energy level, like low enough that he needs a lot of downtime usually in front of screens to recharge, but high enough that he doesn't sleep well. Just basically never give a shit about anything meaningful. That way you'll never have anything to keep you awake. Totally healthy way to approach life. For me it was a learned skill. Thank you US Army. They pushed me to work from Rivali to Taps, and only allowed for 5 to 6 hours of sleep, and I need 7 to 8. I wore an alarm watch. Any break during the day? Oh, I have 25 minutes. Set alarm watch. Prop against a tree or lay down anywhere I could. Bam, asleep. My wife is still amazed at how I do it. That's my secret cap. I'm always tired. Weighted blanket. My friend does this. We'll be playing video games. Then he'll suddenly be tired and good night. Literally seconds later I can hear him snoring in his room. Chronic sleep deprivation. I'm a firefighter and my one partner says what he likes least about me is my ability to fall asleep so fast after returning from a call. It helps to be physically tired. Much easier to fall asleep when your body has been engaged in physical activity during the day. I try to lay perfectly still, and not allow myself to scratch my nose if it itches. For example, I just ignore the itch and next thing I know, it's time to get up. I just discovered that there are people with an inner monologue and this voice in their head allows them to have silent discussions and worry about decisions and whatnot. I don't have this. I don't have any voices talking to me. My preference is also to listen to a documentary on YouTube or Netflix. I set my timer on my phone to stop playing after 20 minutes and rarely stay awake till the end. I am very well versed on the first 10 minutes of World War II. You can't think. Don't think of anything real or about falling asleep. Once you do, you'll never go to sleep. Best trick I've found when I don't fall asleep easy is to put myself in a movie. Like imagine yourself walking through the gates of Hogwarts. What happens next? All up to you and just let your imagination flow. Eventually you'll fall asleep without realizing it. I've worked 20+ shifts and be ridiculously tired and still takes me 20 to 30 minutes at least. So, I don't know what the answer is. I think it's just brain chemistry. I turn on Netflix or Hulu to a show I've seen a million times. I turn away from the screen and fall asleep. I have created an imaginary world in my head that I only visit when I'm in bed and going to sleep. My mind associates those places and characters and narratives with sleep. Hit it hard enough. Became a dad. Since my son was born, I physically cannot lay down without falling asleep. I had to train myself to sleep fast. I went from taking hours upon hours to fall asleep, but now if I say I'm going to bed, I'll be asleep before you can say okay, which can sometimes be a bad thing. Start by turning off all electronics you are using. Lay down. Close your eyes. And no matter what, do not open them till morning. At first it's painful because you'll lay with your eyes shut for hours in boredom, but after a few weeks of doing this every night, your body gets trained into falling asleep faster and faster. It's basically breaking the habit of not being able to fall asleep. Hope this helps you sleep better. This is how I trained myself as well, except I added in that I wasn't allowed to move at all. Itch. Can't scratch it. Uncomfortable. Oh well. Eyes are closed and exact position is maintained until either I fall asleep or my alarm goes off. It was a rough several nights when I first started this, but I very rarely have trouble falling asleep now because my brain and body know that I mean business. I'm a lifelong insomniac, but my sister could fall asleep on her way to the pillow and sleep through the car going over train tracks. I wake up if a mouse farts across the street. I never got it. Okay, so after years of tossing and turning and having horrible sleeps, I've come close to nailing my routine. Wake up and go to bed at the same time every day if possible. That way your body knows when it's time to crash. Weighted blanket, for whatever reason, helps me relax like nothing else. I actually can now usually fall asleep within a few minutes of going to bed. But if not, I play a little mind game. Body scanning is a solid one. Just imagine a ray of sunlight slowly going over you from your toes to your head, and relax your muscles as the sunlight goes over them. I hope that makes sense. There's a lot of guided meditations on YouTube that can walk you through it. I also pick a category and try to name one thing in that category for every letter of the alphabet X. Fruits, apple, banana, cantaloupe, ZZ, and finally I sometimes imagine walking down to the beach near my house and taking a nap there, although I rarely make it far enough to take a nap now. None of this stuff works right away, but even one can make a huge difference with some commitment, so just give it a bit of time. Also, keep your room cold. This one actually worked for me a bit more quickly because I have issues with nightmares to the point where my husband literally can calm me down in his sleep. And I saw a major correlation between that and the heat of my room. I switched from a duvet that had me waking up drenched in sweat to a weighted blanket with a bamboo cover that manages to not trap my body heat. Apparently hot showers before bed and wearing warm socks can also help you cool down as your body tries to self-regulate or something. Exercise a lot in the morning after waking up. Stay awake until you fall asleep in the couch, then groggily walk to the bed when you inevitably wake up. Man, I have insomnia and none of this shit works. I always laugh at the responses to these, because most of them are a chicken or the egg situation. Insomniacs don't have trouble sleeping because they look at a screen before falling asleep. We look at a screen in bed because we know how miserable it is to literally lay in a pitch-black room with nothing but white noise for 7 straight hours and never fall asleep. We don't have a schedule because of our insomnia. We don't have insomnia because we don't have a schedule. We work out at night because we spend the morning still trying to fall asleep. When we work out in the morning, it means we don't sleep at all for 48+ hours. We have tried. Just don't think about anything. We've tried no screens. We've tried relaxing voices, sounds, podcasts. We've tried meditation. We've Googled every possible thing to learn how to fall asleep. We've tried whatever bullshit herb or sleep aid is popular this week. That shit just doesn't work. It's not our faults. Our brains are just idiots. It literally just happens. More like 4 seconds. Yeah, all these people with methods to fall asleep fast. I just can't relate. I just fall asleep if I close my eyes for long enough. Just about always. To the point where it's almost irritating because people always feel the need to let me know I was sleeping. I use a meditation method I learned in a yoga class. Lay flat on your back. Take deep breaths through your nose. As you exhale, mentally relax each muscle group starting with your face and working down to your toes. Try to imagine exhaling through your muscles and out through your toes. Imagine your body slowly melting into your bed. This usually takes about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Next, imagine as vividly as possible a river. It helps if you use one from memory. I personally use a combination of the River Wild movie and memories from a family trip to the Green River. Imagine yourself walking out to the middle of the river. Let yourself get lost in the flow around you. Try to imagine any stray thoughts as floating to you on the river. As you think of things, set them in the water and watch them float away. This process without fail gets me to sleep within 10 minutes. If I am having trouble sleeping, but like Ralph Wiggum, sleep is where I am a Viking. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Sorry for my abysmal Simpsons knowledge. I think I really just wanted Ralph to be an amazing genius who kills people in space and commits genocide. I have narcolepsy. I made my bed as comfortable and boring as possible. White cotton sheets, white cotton pillowcases, etc. I try to make my bed, or at least keep it semi-made. Because I have an easier time falling asleep when the sheets are straight and my blankets lined up properly. I wear white cotton pajamas without buttons or anything scratchy because if I'm even a little bit uncomfortable it's much harder to fall asleep. I braid my hair before bed, which stops my hair from getting in my face because again, I can't sleep if I'm uncomfortable. As an added bonus, keeping my hair braided stops it from wrapping around my neck and throttling me while I sleep. I use a very heavy blanket. It's not weighted. I keep my feet warm, because for some reason that helps. Depending on the season, I'll either use a heated blanket, heating pad, or just wear socks. I don't try to go to bed unless I actually feel tired. There's this sort of wave of sleepiness that hits me at night, and if I get in bed approximately 20 minutes of that happening, I pass out almost immediately. If I miss that window, I try to do soothing, repetitive things at night before bed, knitting, folding laundry, etc. Sometimes I wear blue light filtering glasses because that is supposed to help your body properly produce sleep hormones. And if it doesn't, well, the placebo effect's pretty powerful too. If nothing else works, I take melatonin and slowly drink a cup of tea while reading Calvin and Hobbes. I've got ADHD. Caffeine relaxes me. There's a proverb in my mother tongue that translates to, "Don't go to bed to sleep." What it essentially means is that one must not go to the bed unless she is very sleepy, so sleepy that he'll fall asleep instantly. One must never go to bed to lay down and hope to fall asleep. My brother is one of these people, and I asked him this recently. The trick is a clean conscience. I got nothing to think about. Me: how do you not think about anything? I dunno, I just stopped thinking. He's 16.